Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pankaj, and today we are going to discuss regarding the financial questionnaire that is required for all the students to fill in order to get the part-time jobs in University of Ottawa, that is within the campus as well. This is also required in order to get scholarships. So there are different scholarships for international students as well as the local students over here. So in order to get that, you will have to, the first and foremost step is to fill the financial questionnaire. There were different questions asked and so by the students. So I thought like I'll go ahead and I'll explain each and every question that is asked in the financial questionnaire so that it becomes easy for you. So let's go ahead. So first of all, go to the financial questionnaire section, which is present in the applications in the UO zone, and then create start creating the financial questionnaire. The first question asks is like indicate your status for each of the following terms. So say if this is your first term, so the fall term is your first term, so then go ahead and tell that you were a full-time student. And again, for the winter term, that is winter 2023, if you are a full-time student, so select that you were full-time student. And for summer term, that is if you might have come right now, right? So in fall, so for summer term you were not a student, so mention that as you were not registered. That is, you are going to pursue, you are going to start pursuing your master's or your degree or your certificate from fall. So mention it as not registered. Okay. Again, there are different options. If you are in co-op term, do mention as co-op term. On exchange, this is for undergrad students. Usually they go for to different universities at different country or within the same country. So that's on exchange starting at U Ottawa and on exchange starting at another university. So this is it for the first one. Let's go ahead. So you can save as draft as well, so that next time when you come in, it will say that yes, it is saved successfully, and you can continue with the next question. The next thing is, what is your current personal situation? That is, if whether you are into a relationship, that is whether like you are married and you have kids. The second one is sole support parent. Now, sole support parent means you support your parent. Okay, so that is sole support parent. That is, you are responsible for everything. Independent student is like you take care of your finances, and dependent student is the student that depends on their family. Like if you're taking any income, any fees from your family, so it becomes dependent student. If it is independent student, that is you take your initiative, you take the responsibility in order to pay the fees. So in my case, or in most of the students case, it will be independent student. This is because they take care of the tuition fees on themselves, right? So make sure you can tick based on your criteria and you can go ahead. So I'm going ahead with the independent student. The next question is housing. Where will you be living during your studies? So I will, if you're living with your parents, if they are in Canada, mention that. If you are in a university residence, that is basically the university's hostel, in simple words, so mention that. Otherwise, if you're in an apartment or in a house outside of university, mention that. The next question is, in the summer months preceding your current study period, you lived. Where did you live? That is whether you lived with your parents or whether you lived in an apartment or house. Since you're coming during the fall term, the international students to speak about, so you are you lived with your parents, right? So mention that you lived with your parents. And for the students who are already here, they can mention that they were in an apartment or in the house. Next, what is the distance in kilometers from your place of residence to University of Ottawa? This is basically after you come here, that is after you came to to Canada, and at the place where you're currently living in Canada, how far is the university? So for example, if my house is located near the Bayshore area, so from Bayshore area to University of Ottawa is around 15 kilometers. So I will mark it as 15 kilometers. The next, what is the distance in kilometers from your parents' house to University of Ottawa? Usually the distance, if you're an international student, the distance is usually very high in terms of kilometers, and the maximum range that this field allows is 9,999. And for all the international students, the distance in kilometers is usually more. So you can mention that. If you are if your parents are living in Canada, just mention that kilometers, the distance with respect to University of Ottawa. Just a second. Yeah. So going ahead to the next question. How much do you have in personal savings as of May 15th? Do not include your government loans or any amount earned after May 15th. That is May 15th. So you will be coming in the fall term, so September, right? So as of May 15th, how much do you have in personal savings? Now, for the current year, you can mention, since you are not earning anything here in Canada, you can mention the amount as zero. Okay, so if you are earning anything, do mention that. If you're not earning anything, do mention zero. Okay, next thing is, how much are your parents contributing or will be contributing to your education per term? That is, for summer term, since you are not enrolled in the summer term, so mention that as zero. For fall term, if your parents are contributing, do mention that they are contributing this much dollars per term. And during winter term, if they are contributing, do mention that. What happens is, if you have taken your education loan, so you can say that you have taken an education loan. So this loan is not provided by your parents, since you are an independent student, right? So in the first question, we marked as independent student. So if you're an independent student, that means we are funding ourselves. We are funding ourselves means we have taken the education loan and we will be clearing that education loan back. So for that, if your parents are not contributing, that is, if you have taken the education loan, do mention that fall term is zero and winter term is zero. That is, your parents are not contributing, but you have taken an education loan. But if your parents are contributing for the fall term, say they have contributed $12,000, so mention $12,000 that they have contributed, and mention this in winter term that they have contributed another 12,000. And if you have mentioned this, do mention that you are a dependent student. Okay, so because sometimes what happens is, they might ask you to show the education loan papers as well. So mention accordingly. Be legit here. So don't do any be legit to yourself as well as to University of Ottawa. Mention everything correctly. Okay. Next thing is, what is or will be your net employment income for current academic year? So for summer term, you don't have anything, so it's again an optional field, so nothing to enter. For fall term, again, nothing to enter, and name and enter. It's nothing, like it's not required to enter. It's not a mandatory field, so you can go ahead to the next question. We'll see while clicking on next. If it asks us, we'll fill it later. So basically this question is, what is or will be your net employment income for the current academic year? Currently, we don't know anything, so we can mention it as NA0, NA0, NA0. But if you have got the TA or character positions, and you know that your employment income is going to be so and so, so mention that name as TA and amount as whatever dollars, that is, it will be mentioned in your contract, and character, mention that. Okay, and later on, suppose after coming here, you join any part-time jobs like Walmart or Tim Hortons or Loblaws or anywhere. So make sure that you update this financial questionnaire and add, like you add here and you mention that you are working in Walmart and you are earning so and so. Okay, again, this is for the academic year. So make sure that the amount total is not per month, but in total for the academic year, that is 22 to 23. Next, how much money from government benefits, social assistance, or orphanage benefits, employment insurance, Ontario Disability Support System, etc. have you received or expect to receive? This is basically, are you receiving any? So here it's clearly mentioned that please exclude your student loan. So this is basically that have you got any scholarships here? So it is 0, 0, and 0 for everyone. So because we have not received any scholarships from any of them, so mention it as 0. Okay, next, how much money from excellence awards, admission awards, or grants have you received or expected to receive? Again, this is also zero. So if nothing is there, nothing to mention. Otherwise, you can mention NA 0, NA 0, and NA 0. NA is not applicable. Have you applied for government loans or grants for the academic year? If not, please explain why. So have you applied for the loan? If not, means you're a dependent student and your parents have paid your tuition fee. So you can mention no if you have not taken any loan, and you can mention that the tuition fees was paid by by my parents. But if it is yes, that is you have taken the education loan, click the yes. To which province or territory did you or will you apply for government loans or grants? Since we have taken from our country, our home country, it will be mentioned as other country. If you are in Canada, or if you are a resident of Canada, and if you have taken loan from any of the province, to mention that. But since we are the international students, we will be taking loan from our home country, so it will be the other country. What is the total amount of government financial aid that you will receive during the academic year? This is basically how much the bank will provide us the loan per academic year, means per term. Okay, so for summer term, since you're not going to come here, mention that as 0. You are not going to come here, right? You're still in your you will be pursuing your studies from fall, so mention that as 0. For fall term, you can mention it as if you have taken loan, you can mention the exact amount that is present in the statement of account. Like you can mention the bank will provide us exact amount as the statement of account. So it will be around $15,000, for example, and for winter again $15,000. So make sure this amount is exactly same as that of the statement of account, that is how much ever is charged. So bank usually provides that amount, right? The bank or the government organizations, the loan that we take, they usually approve the loan based on your statement of account. So make sure the amount is based on that. If you have a line of credit, please indicate the amounts below. That means whether how much amount has been approved by the by your bank. Okay, line of credit means how much amount is uh, uh, that is you have. Okay, so maximum here, that means how much your bank has approved. So you can make sure that they have approved like $50,000. Okay, and from that $50,000 per year, now per year will have 3 terms, right? Fall term, some winter term, and summer term. So 15,000, 15,000, 15,000 for an example. So they will you will have 45,000. So make sure that you have mentioned like somewhere around that figure. Okay, amount borrowed from line of credit to date. So have you borrowed? Yes, you paid your university fees for the fall term. So mention that yes, I have paid $15,000. Amount from line of credit that you plan to borrow for that current academic year. Now per month, if you're planning to take some amount, for example, for rent or for other purposes, the government, the international banks also provides us loan, right? I mean, the loan that we took from from our home country, we can also take loan for our monthly expenses. So if you are taking any line of credit per month, do mention that. So for example, you can mention it as like $1,000 you're taking per month for your other expenses from the bank. This is just a small idea. Again, it depends on whether you are actually taking that amount from the bank. If you're not taking the amount from the bank, mention it as 0 per month for your monthly expenses. But this would be 15,000 amount borrowed till year, because currently you have paid only your fall term fees. So it will be 15,000 per year. If you have paid fall and winter, so mention 15 plus 15. For example, if your 2-term fees is 15 and 15, you mention it as $30,000. Okay. Next, let's go to the next. Oh, please indicate the reason why don't you have any income for the summer term. So here they are asking us reason. That is why we have comment section. So you can mention that I am currently a student and I have no income with me right now. Okay, so that's the thing. And now we'll see, click next and check whether it goes. Yes, it goes to the next page. What are the expenses for school supplies for each of the following terms? This again, for the summer term, since you don't have any expense, make sure it is 0. For the fall term, now you might purchase pen, you may purchase books, You may spend on some other purposes. So per term, how much is your expense? On an average, it will be around like $300 to $500. So it depends on your expense. Whatever is your expense, to mention that. And again, for winter term, it might be ranging around $300 to $400. That will be the expense for school supplies. That includes books, pens, other stationery products. What are your monthly expenses for your following items? So for food, how much do you spend for food? So whatever is your amount for food, do mention that. For housekeeping includes your washing, your other miscellaneous expenses. So I like whatever is the expense, you can mention that. For personal care includes your detergents, your soaps, your hand wash, and etc, etc, etc. So it all depends on the personal care, so how much you spend. And for clothing, if you're buying clothes and other stuff, so whatever it is here, you can mention that. What are your monthly housing expenses? That is, how much is your rent? How much is your energy and water, telephone, cable, and internet, and the insurance? So it depends on how much is your rent. So for example, if your rent is 500, if your energy and water, so water would be $40, energy would be $40, so total would be $80 per month. Telephone, cable, and internet, this includes your Wi-Fi expenses, your mobile charge, so that is the SIM that you have in your mobile, so how much you pay per month. And the cable is like if you have any television with you and you pay extra for the cable. So this may be around like $40, $50 for telephone, internet might be another $30, 50, 30 is 80. Since if you have cable, you can add that as well. And insurance. You have any external insurance other than UHIP? Don't include UHIP insurance per month here. If you have taken any other insurance apart from the insurance that is provided by the university, do mention here. If not, mention it as 0. What are your monthly transportation expenses? Now, bus. If you have taken the bus pass, don't mention anything. Mention it as 0. Okay. If you have not taken bus pass and if you recharge your Presto card, do mention the Presto card, how much you pay for the Presto card, do mention that. But if you have the bus pass, don't mention anything, because your bus pass is, again, that is covered in the per term expenses that we have seen in your previous pages. So don't mention anything. If you have a car and you have any other expenses, mention that. If not, mention 0. What are your monthly expenses for leisure and entertainment? This includes that you're going to an ice cream parlor to eat ice cream, going for watching movies, and etc., going to play games and other things. So you can mention like you're spending $100 per month for that. What are your annual uninsured medical expenses? Now, non-insured medical expenses, if you currently don't have anything, do mention it as 0. In future, if there is any medical expenses which is not covered, you can update this financial questionnaire at that moment of time. Currently, you don't have anything, so do mention it as 0. But if you have any medical symptoms or medical diseases since birth or since a longer time, and you know that this will not be covered in my insurance, do mention that expenses here. Again, it is per year, so do mention that accordingly. And this is all about the financial questionnaire. You can submit it, and after submitting it, you can go to the work study navigator. There they will ask you that you will have you filled your financial questionnaire. You can also go to the scholarship section, that is the Ontario scholarship benefits, and many other different scholarship sections, and you can go there. The first thing will be whether you have filled the financial questionnaire. Make sure that the financial questionnaire is updated regularly, because your expenses, your rental, your mobile, your transportation, everything keeps on changing, right? So make sure that you have given legit information and you keep updating this information if there is any change. If there is not any change, then it's well and good. But if there is any change, please do mention this. Please do update this financial questionnaire. That's all from my side. I hope this video was really helpful. There were so many questions from so many students regarding this. If you did like the video, please click the thumbs up button. Please do share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.